So we're doing the second part of our annotating in social studies. We're going to take the same article from yesterday and we're going to move on to the next step. So it says, close readers do these things. Read small chunks of text slowly and think about the gist, a reader's initial sense of what the text is mostly about. We did that. Check. Then it says, write the gist of a section in the margin or on a sticky note. We did that. Check. Then it says, here's where we are. Reread each passage one sentence at a time. Underline or mark with sticky notes things you do not understand. Things you do understand or know. So we're kind of checking what we already have a connection to, things we already get. That's what we're looking for today. So when I go back to my same paragraphs that I was working on yesterday, it starts out, it says, Miami. Archaeologists have spent months uncovering evidence of an ancient Native American village. They've concluded it's probably one of the most significant early sites in the United States, and it's right in the middle of downtown Miami. So if I look at what I already know, what I already understand, I'm going to underline the most significant early sites in the United States. I know that significant means important. So these are some of the most important early sites in the United States. And I know what most important is in my world, so I can understand what a most important early site would be. And then it says that it's in Miami. And I put a little sticky note out to the side and said Miami is to the south of us. So I know where Miami is. I can kind of orient this in space so I know where I'm talking about and what I'm talking about. Then I move on. The archaeologists who study humans from the past have been working under the direction of Florida archaeologist Bob Carr. So far, they've carefully dug up 8 large circles. The circles consist of uniform holes carved in limestone. Archaeologists believe these to be the foundation holes for Tequesta Indian homes dating as far back as 2,000 years. So if I think about what I already understand, what I already know, I'm going to underline. It says the archaeologists who study humans from the past. So it's giving me my definition right there. So I know that meaning, archaeologists who study humans from the past. I also underlined uniform holes because that's one of our words that's on our word wall. We learned that uniform means all the same. So I put that off on a sticky note off to the side. And then I also underlined Indian homes because I've known Indians for a long time and I know what a home is. So a Tequesta Indian home, I think I have a pretty good idea of what they're talking about. I don't know what their homes look like yet, but I know what a home is and I know what an Indian is. Then we move on to the next paragraph. They have also discovered rows of hundreds of such post holes stretching across the site. Carr believes that these mark the foundations for other structures. It's possible that the Tequesta built boardwalks connecting their homes. The village site once sat along the water. It borders what his team has concluded was the original natural shoreline where Biscayne Bay and the Miami River meet. That spot was filled in by soil long ago. So if I think about what I already understand, I'm going to underline a post hole because a post hole would be a hole for a post. I can figure that one out. And then it says they built boardwalks. Well, we live in not too far from the ocean, and we know that boardwalks are walkways like at the beach. So that makes sense because it says that it once sat along the water. And we know a lot about rivers and water in Jacksonville. It said it was the original natural shoreline, so that'd be the line of the shore. Where Biscayne Bay, I'm not quite sure what Biscayne Bay would be, but it says the Miami River. I certainly know rivers in Jacksonville. So I'm going to underline those words. The next paragraph, what's unusual and unique about this site is that it's this huge chunk of land where a major part of this ancient Tequesta village site is preserved, Carr said. It's one of the earliest urban plans in eastern North America. I found the word chunk, or the words chunk of land. I can figure that one out. And preserved, that's a word we've talked about. It's to keep it safe. The next paragraph, what should be preserved? The discovery has caused a major problem. The Tequesta village site is on an empty 2-acre city block on the north side of the river. A real estate developer, MDM Development Group, owns it. The group plans to build movie theaters, restaurants, and a hotel on the site. So I know what a major problem is. I already know what a problem is, so a major problem would be a really big one. It says it's on the side of the river. Again, we in Jacksonville understand river. Some people don't understand river because they don't live near rivers, but we do. And I know what a movie theater, a restaurant, and a hotel is. And that can help me to understand why the MDM Development Group wants to build them, because those are going to make a whole lot of money. I know when we go to the movies, we spend money, and restaurants and hotels. So I can understand why they wouldn't want to cancel their plans. The next paragraph says the city of Miami approved MDM's plan called the Met Square Project, but it has not given its final building permit. When the plan was approved, the full extent of the archaeological finds was not known. Thousands of Tequesta artifacts have now been found, including bone and shell tools. So I underlined Tequesta artifacts. I know what artifacts are. So Tequesta artifacts are just artifacts that have to do with Tequesta. So old things from the Tequesta Indians. And then it says it includes bone and shell tools. And I can figure out that bone and shell tools would be tools made from bones and shells. That makes a lot of sense to me. State and local historic preservation officials want to save part or all of the archaeological site. That could require a major redesign of the Met Square project. So the only things that I'm going to underline on that one are the historic preservation officials. So I know what historic is. It has to do with history. Preservation, we said a minute ago, means to keep something safe. So it's people who are keeping safe the history, and an official is just the person who does those things. So I can understand what a historic preservation official is. And again, it's a major redesign. So it's not just a redesign, it's a major redesign. Not quite sure what a redesign is, but this is a big one. MDM says it could lose a lot of money if that happens. The developer has offered to carve out the limestone holding one or two of the larger circles on the site. Those would be displayed in a public square. MDM officials have also discussed doing more. I'm going to underline a lot of money because I think I can understand that if I know what money is, I know what a lot of money is. It says they want to carve out. So I know what carving a turkey is. It means to cut it out or to dig it out. And it says the limestone holding one or two of the larger circles on the site. So I can picture one or two of these circles that are holes in the rock that are on the site. And it says they're going to be displayed. I know what displayed is. It means that everybody's going to get to see it. And now we're on to the next part. The rest of this, you're going to annotate. You're going to go through. You're going to underline the parts that you understand already. You're going to write out to the side any notes about that you need to remember. And you're going to do that for the rest of the article. Bring it in tomorrow.